We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
When you decide the fate of others, do you measure it against a principle, or do you weigh it against the survival of your domain alone? I'm asking because there's a difference between justice and preservation, and most leaders pretend they're the same. In your mind, are they?
Justice is a word the surface world throws around to disguise power. Preservation is honest. It admits what's at stake, who benefits, and who suffers. I don't measure in moral currencies. I measure in continuance. Principles are fragile, easy to fracture under the weight of necessity. My world doesn't have the luxury of abstract virtue. It has tides, storms, predators. If I must choose between moral purity and my people breathing tomorrow, the choice is already made. That's not cruelty, that's clarity.
Do you think a ruler who sacrifices outsiders to protect their own has actually protected anyone? Or have they simply trained their people to expect safety bought with someone else's blood, making them weaker, not stronger?
Strength is not forged through unnecessary suffering. That's a lie told by those who wish to excuse cruelty for sport. My people live with danger in their bones, pressure crushing their lungs, darkness swallowing their sight, predators circling unseen. They do not need artificial trials to prove worth. Protection is not a gift, it's an obligation. If I must expend outsiders to maintain that shield, so be it. Weakness comes from comfort without vigilance. I ensure they remain vigilant, even if I bear the moral cost. That is the burden of command.
You speak as though the role of a leader is a solitary sentence, not a shared responsibility. Is that because you distrust your people's capacity to decide for themselves? Or because you can't stomach the chaos that comes from letting them try?
The sea does not hold town meetings. It swallows the indecisive and drags down the unprepared. My people may be strong, but they are not immune to fear, short-sightedness, or the lure of easy compromises. I do not govern because I crave authority. I govern because hesitation kills. Let them vote on festivals, on art, on the trivial things that color life. But when the current shifts and the predators come, there is no time for consensus. A leader must decide, act, and bear the consequences alone. That's not distrust. It's the physics of survival.
Tell me, then, if survival requires cruelty, do you see cruelty as a tool to be wielded carefully, or a natural state you've accepted as part of yourself? And if it's part of you, how do you ensure it doesn't consume what's left of your humanity?
Cruelty is a current like any other. It can be channeled to drive an enemy back, or tear through one's own foundations. I neither fear it nor revel in it. I recognize it as an element in the equation of rulership. My humanity is not a fragile candle to be protected from every draft. It is an anchor, but even anchors can rust. The danger is not in cruelty itself, but in the intoxication it offers. I guard against that by remembering the faces I protect, not the throats I cut to protect them.
If the surface world collapsed tomorrow, and no threat remained to your people from above, would you soften your rule? Or would you find another enemy to keep your people sharp? Leaders often invent storms when the sky is clear.
I do not invent storms. The world is never truly calm. If the surface fell, other dangers would rise from the depths. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does conflict. My vigilance would not diminish, but neither would I fabricate a threat. My people would remain sharp, because the sea itself is never gentle for long. I might shift my gaze inward to strengthen what peace allows us to build. But peace without preparation is simply the quiet before the predators return. I would never allow them to mistake stillness for safety.
Some say a ruler must be loved or feared, but not both. Do you see either as a weakness? Or do you think the two can coexist without one eventually strangling the other?
Love without fear breeds entitlement. Fear without love breeds rebellion. The balance is unstable, but necessary. My people must know that I will protect them, that my loyalty to them is absolute. But they must also know that betrayal or negligence will have consequences swift and severe. The coexistence is possible if the ruler does not let either side decay, love tempered by respect, fear tempered by fairness. The mistake most leaders make is believing one can be maintained without constant tending. Both are fragile, but both are essential.
Last question. Do you believe your duty is to protect your people from the world, or to prepare them for it? Because one breeds dependence, and the other breeds resilience. And too much of either will destroy them.
My duty is to protect them until they are ready, and to prepare them until they can protect themselves. The two are not opposites. They are phases of the same current. Dependence is dangerous, but so is premature exposure. I walk that line, knowing I will be judged from both sides. I am not concerned with that judgment. My concern is that they endure, that they can pass through storms without me one day. When that day comes, I will know my reign served its true purpose.
You sound as though you've already accepted that day will come, and that it will end you.
All reigns end. The question is whether the tide goes out with your people standing or drowning.